Good morning, wherever you're watching Luntha television, and welcome to our today's edition of Press Review, a program in which we take you through some of the stories that are appearing in our newspapers. And as usual, we do have the Daily Times as well as the Nation newspapers. And today, you're with me, Charity Shilanga in Makale.
Emmanuel George.
Nansugabanti. Inali bwino gaino.
Inali bwino kakale kombali inayi. Achesi nditu tunyozeka.
Anyezeka.
Yaluza.
Alright, I'll be taking you through the Daily Times, and to begin with the second page, NIF introduces a 17 billion kwaja farmers loan. And partly the story says, National Economic Empowerment Fund NIF has said it plans to start providing loans to those engaged in irrigation activities, who actually started disbursing farming inputs loans to farmers across the country between April and June this year. Introduction of the loan facility is our priority because we want to help promote the government's food security goals, said NIF Chief Executive Officer Humphreys Njetseni when he inspected farms that belong to Kasungu district beneficiaries on Saturday.
The headline it reads, "The downside of Israel deal." Subheadline it says, "No signed agreement between two countries." And another one it says, "Malawi pushes for government deal." Despite the public perception that the labor export deal to Israel is a government-to-government arrangement, it has emerged that there is no formal agreement between Malawi and Israel. A work overtime working hours per day, the employees is entitled to the payment of at a rate of 125% of his or her regular hours rate. Each additional working hour is entitled the employee to payment at the rate of 150% of his regular hour rate.
Alright, Angola seeks NGO regulations approval. Non-government organizations Regulatory Authority Angola is waiting for the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs to act on proposed non-government organizations NGOs regulations. Angola Chief Executive Officer Edward Chile Kapanga told the Daily Times that the final draft of NGOs regulations has been submitted to the Ministry of Justice through the Ministry of Gender. He said the hope is that the proposed laws would be sent to Parliament for deliberations on them in the next meeting of Parliament.
Vandalism cost ESCOM 4 billion kwacha in 2 years. Vandalism of electricity infrastructures has costed Electricity Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM, about 4 billion kwacha in the last 2 years. It has emerged. The act of vandalism has been disrupting powers transmission, affecting the provision of services in hospitals and other key productive sector. In a written response to the Nation questionnaire, ESCOM Public Relations Manager Gita Chingota said last year alone they had 200 incidents of vandalism.
Alright, Chisale back in court to access bank accounts, and former presidential bodyguard Norman Chisale is back in the court today, this time at the Financial Crimes Division of the High Court, where he has applied to access money from his frozen accounts and settle legal costs. This comes at a time the state is still pushing for the forfeiture of property worth 5.8 billion kwacha from Chisale, questioning how he amassed the assets.
Chakwera hires new macro board. President Lazarus Chakwera has appointed a new board of directors for Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MACRA, with most faces from the previous board retained. The new board is chaired by Bridget Shubwana and members include Alekeni Lenyani, Stella Chuti, Mara Kaira, Gaware, Isaac Songea, and Reverend Father Francis Damasege.
Alright, moving on to the business segment, stay the course on reform agenda, IMF. Part 3 of the story says that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said Malawian authorities must stay the course on their reform agenda if the country is to succeed with the new Extended Credit Facility ECF program granted in November last year. In an interview with IMF Country Focus on Friday, IMF Malawi's resident representative Enaonan Koting said efforts by the authorities to stabilize the economy began to get traction under the 2022-2023 staff monitored program.
And in Business International, it says that Chapola retires from Nico Life, urges insurance-friendly laws. Nico Life Insurance Company Limited outgoing Chief Executive Officer Eric Chapola says Malawi needs insurance-friendly laws to fully benefit from the industry whose penetration is at less than 3%. Speaking on the sideline of his farewell dinner and dance on Friday in Luntha, hosted by Nico Group, he said there are a lot of resources in the sector that, if utilized, can spur the country's development.
Standard Bank commits to continue the SMEs financing. Standard Bank has pledged to continue financing of agricultural sector development efforts in empowering small and medium enterprises SMEs to contribute to national economic development. Standard Bank Chief Executive Philip Madinga said this on Friday during the graduation of 46 SMEs and presentation of 10 million budget winner of the Popa Beach Night.
I'll go straight to arts and culture. They fail celebrate legacy. Saturday night was a time for music lovers to experience music while going down their memory lane with a performance by the three artists that continued to carry the Day Fair legacy long after they had terminated their record deal with the label. The Rilongo Show reunited Onesmus Pixel and Masco, who had once signed the record deal with the label. To mark the start of their music career journey, the three are among the most renowned musicians in the local music industry.
Arts and Culture in the Daily Times Mr. Entertainer strangers in praises on 65th of birthday. Musicians from both gospel and secular worlds on Friday night took turns in singing praises of legendary promoter Jai Rwanda, popularly known as Mr. Entertainer, for supporting artists in the country through Entertainer's promotions. The artists made the remarks during Jai's 65th birthday celebration, which was organized by classic events led by Edson Kawalala at Empowerment Purpose Hall in Luntha.
We have another one in the arts and culture. It says there's a Kingston overwhelms Zomba. If anything, the start of the Amapiano music star there's a Kingston inter-college tour only served to underline the growth and demand that the urban music has created, even in a setup such as Domasi, which lies a short distance away from Malawi old capital city of Zomba. The presence of Malawi Broadcasting Corporation 2023 Entertainer of the Year Award, Musician of the Year, appeared to be everything that the people needed.
Moving on to international news, Senegal leader postpones election. Senegal's President Macky Sall has postponed this month's election following complaints after dozens of candidates were barred from standing. The two-term president, who reiterated that he would not be seeking re-election, did not set a new date. Amid controversy, the Constitutional Council had prevented several hopefuls, including some high-profile politicians, from running.
We have international sports. It says Bafana keeper turns a hero after 4 penalty saves. Captain Ronald Williams saved 4 penalties to help South Africa reach the semi-finals of 2023 African Cup of Nations AFCON following a goalless draw against Cape Verde. Bebe Wile Semedo, Raros Dauto and Patrick Andre were all denied in the shootout by the outstanding Williams, who also made a spectacular late save.
Do you have one more in international sports?
Yes, in international sports I have one more. It says Ivory Coast coach warns his prayers. Ivory Coast caretaker coach Hermes Faye has told host elephants not to get caught up in the hype following their dramatic 2-1 win over Mali in the quarter-final of 2023 AFCON African Cup of Nations on Saturday. Before putting out Mali, the elephants saw off defense defending champions Senegal in a penalty shootout last time.
Moving on to the very back page of the Daily Times, and Pinganjila note after gains at Vanulax and partly the story says business magnate Tom Pinganjira says he is not bankrolling mighty Mugulu Wanderers to make profits, but help with the club rediscover its glory. The philanthropist speaking to Times exclusive host Brian Banda on Times TV on Saturday night also discussed that he was prioritizing turning Wanderers into a fully fledged commercial entity rather than buying the team, having been offered a chance to own the side.
On the back page of The Nation it says Temwa completes US move. Sub-headline reads, happy to play in US League. Scorchers forward Temwa Chawinga has completed a 2-year deal with US National Women's Soccer League side Kansas City currently in January. The Kansas State-based side announced that it had signed a 25-year-old forward, but the player said she could not commit to the club until she saw the offer made through her Chinese manager. But almost a month after being offered the deal, Temwa traveled to US last week to complete the deal. We would like to say congratulations to Temwa Chawinga, our own Pangolin. Amene walitu akujita zintu zapamwamba, and her sister also, Tabitha. He has been nominated, he's on the nominations for the Prayer of the Month award. This is very good. They are putting Malawians on the map.
Right, that also concludes our today's edition of Press Review. Remember, I'll just take you through some of the stories. And if you want to have a full picture of what's in the papers, you can get your own copies of the Daily Times and The Nation are going at 2,000 kwacha. In our today's program, you've been with me, Lady Chilanka, alongside
Emmanuel George.
Continue watching Luntha television for the rest of our programs. Good morning.